didn't I save the food review for Thanksgiving? Oh well. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This infringement of copyright is called fair use, and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news, reporting, teaching, and parody. This means you! Let's talk about chowder. So, I understand it's a seafood or vegetable soup, often served with milk or cream, originating in the United States. At least that's what Wikipedia tells me. Now, I've never had chowder like that before. I hear it's pretty good. However, I have had chowder before. It was one of my favorite dishes from 2007 to 2010. It was a dish that was more made up to look good. Kind of like the chowder you'll see in a magazine. The taste of that particular recipe was usually a bit off. Oftentimes it worked out and was served well enough to hold me over until the next dish was served. And I thoroughly enjoyed it when this was the case and cleaned the bowl. However, other times chowder tasted raw and underdone, kind of stale, if that's even possible. Today, I wish to tell you of a particularly interesting event that happened during one of these bowls of raw chowder with a side of Schnitzel. So I sat down with my bowl of chowder and decided that I wanted to side with it, but I wasn't sure if I wanted the Mung Dal or Schnitzel. I mean, I decided on the Schnitzel. I just bought it, so it should be fresh. Besides, why would I have soup with soup? It doesn't make much sense. So as I fixed the Schnitzel up and prepared my meal, I noticed that I kept out the chowder as I was doing so, and it quickly went bad. Not wanting to waste it, though, I started digesting it. However, I realized I left the Schnitzel on for too long, and it burned. So I attempted to scrape off the burns like you would bread. However, that didn't work, so I tried adding ketchup to it, making the whole thing taste terrible. I decided to scrap it and try again. Once again, I went back to my chowder and had some more of it while I waited for the Schnitzel before burning it again. Finally, I said screw the chowder, and I watched the third Schnitzel cook, finally getting it before it burned. However, when I sat down and enjoyed the meal, the chowder went bad and the Schnitzel was undercooked and just fell apart. Metaphors about food I honestly and obviously have never had. Schnitzel Makes a Deposit is one episode of chowder that you can skip. Jokes go on for far too long, very similar to my story, and due to this, the episode falls into a trap of being excruciatingly boring. This isn't the only episode of Chowder that does this, sadly. The episode Hands on the Mixing Bowl has a similar do-nothing premise that falls about as flat as this episode. However, Hands on the Mixing Bowl has a very different glaring problem that I'll get to when I decide I can finally review it, whenever I choose to do so. Now, let me talk about a term coined in by the SpongeBob SquarePants community. I know this actually exists, but not in the way that the SpongeBob community uses it. Torture porn. Now, the two uses are similar, but different. You see, they both rely on someone getting tortured. However, torture porn is made by masochists and watched by sadists. SpongeBob torture porn is made by children's TV show writers who are probably sadists on their own. These episodes of torture porns are hated by all in the SpongeBob community, be it Squidward, Gary, or other. Now, I can say with certainty that this applies to Chowder too, as this is a Schnitzel torture porn. It's Murphy's Law cranked to 11, as anything that can go wrong does, but in a way that only the worst-case scenario can surpass. And since the jokes are dragged out longer than a Life in Times of 10 joke, with one particular joke going on for longer than 3 minutes. So yeah, fuck this episode, and my dish was ruined. Next time, I'll just have a burger. If you would like to get caught up on future reviews, there's a link in the description below to a Facebook page. Basically, all that I'm going to tell you. I mean, you can follow it, You can get all the updates to future reviews if you care. If not, I'm not gonna force you to do it. It's all up to you.